Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a rather sunny River Avon. Now, as the title of the video suggests, I've come out to do something a little bit fun this afternoon. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got a couple of hours free, and I thought, why not pop over the road, do a bit of fishing, but do something a little bit different. And as I say, as the title suggests, what I've got with me today is my free kids whip from Angling Direct, 4-meter whip. I say mine, it's not mine, it's my daughter's. We went over to Angling Direct, the local Angling Direct, last week. I needed a few bits and pieces, and they were giving away these free whips. If you don't know, basically, if you spend 10 quid in store all through the summer holidays, they give you a free whip. Comes with a little rig on a winder, if I can find it, just there. And I bought my daughter out last week. She was very keen to use it. She's very keen to do everything, my daughter, but she was very keen to have a go with it. We had a great session down here. Came there for about an hour. She caught all sorts of everything, which is why I've come here. I mean, I know it's a cracking place to get a few bites. Hopefully we'll have a nice mixed bag today, and I just thought I'd come down and see what I could do with this bit of kit in, say, 2 hours. We'll see what we can catch. As I say, it's going to be all sorts of species here. I'm keeping it as simple as I possibly can. I've got a pint of maggots with me, and that is it. I've actually brought a keep net with me as well for once, so we can actually see what we've caught at the end of the session. Hopefully it'll be quite good. As I say, I'm going to give it 2 hours. I've got 2 hours free with this little rig here. The only thing I've done to this rig is put a little bit more shot on it because it was undershotted, and I've changed the hook because the hook on here was about a size 10, and we wanted to fish single maggot last time we came. So I think without further ado, we'll get cracking, shall we? Now, as you can probably see from the weather, the sun's in and out. Very hot and sunny 1 minute, cloudy the next. It's due to cloud over. I think that'll happen after we've gone home. Also, the river is in a terrible state from a clarity point of view. This river never fishes very well when it's clear, and it's about probably best part 6 foot down here. I can see the bottom easily. So that doesn't bode well for sort of fishing normal tactics, normal in inverted commas. But I think we should do all right with this. There's some lovely fishing here. As I say, there's some, well, all sorts of everything. So, first drop in. See, oh, blimey, there we go. We had a bite straight away. I just fancied out doing something a little bit fun, just seeing exactly what we could catch, given a couple of hours with this this kit. There we go. First fish, what we got? Let's have a look. Got a very wriggly chublet. Fantastic. Well, hopefully that'll be the first of many, many fish. Like I say, I'd love a nice mixed bag, and as I say, a bit of fun doing it with the with the kids' free whip. Right, that was a bit talking of kids whip, that was a bit of a juvenile error, not sorting out the keep net first, but I'm not used to using keep nets. Well, we'll get that down there. Get that out. There we go. Right. Now it's sorted properly. Fab. Just got a mixture of white and red maggots, and that's it. I don't know if you can see, I don't know if it'll come across on here, but there's lots and lots of sort of streamer weed here. I think the fish like it, I think they feel safe. God, this is pulling back. What we got here? Perch. Perchy. Careful. God, blimey, you wanted that. There we go. Little perch. Very lively little perch, so I'm not going to try and show you while I'm sat on this concrete. Now, when I was here with my daughter the other day, I didn't film it. She didn't particularly want to be filmed. She just wanted to have a bit of fun. But I did a little bit of sneaky filming. Did have a little camera with me. And at one point, she even hooked a perch that got grabbed with a pike, and she managed to land the pike and the perch. The perch was safely released. The pike wasn't hooked, but stupidly didn't bother letting go of the perch till we got it in a landing net, which is quite funny. Quite daft of him. Worth mentioning as well, to get your kids free whip, you have to have your kid with you. When you go into angling direct, you can't just turn up and get a free whip, unless you have your younger person with you. Rudd. This rudd of the day, look. Beautiful. It's one of the attractions of this particular spot, is the rudd. Cracking. Oh, blimey. What's this? Ah, should have known. They do fight hard, don't they, perch? You always forget quite how hard they fight. Now, I've not bought any grain bait or anything with me today. I have bought some bread, just in case we see any bigger fish around the place. And I've bought a rod with me as well, just as I say, just in case we see anything big that would perhaps fancy having a go for. Because there are all sorts of everything in here. I didn't want to come over and, see a big tench cruising about or something, bream or something, and think if I hook it on this whip, I'm going to get smashed up. Because I wouldn't fish for it if I thought that. Not adverse to having a little move either. We might have a little move up into the shallower water up there, or even perhaps over the other side, because sometimes it's just a case of finding the fish. Obviously we've got a few. Sometimes they can be, certainly in this weather, they may well be up the end there where it's a bit shallower, water's probably a bit warmer. God, look at that. That's a rudd. Should probably put the net under that, but look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Cool. That's a bleak and a half. Huh. Blimey. What is that? Monster bleak. So, just to fill you in on what's been happening since you last saw me, as I say, I did nip out over here with my daughter. But I also nipped out and did a little bit of trotting. I think I mentioned it in the last video. Last time you saw me was doing some small river fishing. I said then I was going to try and get out and do some trotting. Well, the river's been so clear, it cleared up so quickly, that I thought the only time I'm going to do any good really is early in the morning. So I went downstream here and had a look at a few spots, and my sort of favourite spot from the winter when I was trotting was very, very overgrown. So it's not really a peg, it's sort of between pegs. So I took the dog for a walk down there and took the shears and cut these reeds down so I could trot, and so there was enough room to be able to see the camera, to be able to see what was happening. Got up at 4:30 the next morning, proceeded to get down there, and I was absolutely gobsmacked to find somebody sat in the peg about 5 metres away, just upstream. I was just like, oh, I can't believe this. I can't believe it. 4:45, 10 to 5 in the morning. So that peg was out. I wasn't going to go and ruck up 5 metres away from someone else. So I went for a bit of a wander. God, I'm missing a few bites now. I went for a bit of a wander with a trotting rod. A few sort of swims I know can do some chub, but didn't really do much good, to be honest. Cut a long story short, it was I had a few chub, up to about half a pound, perhaps, I don't know, 6 or 8 of them. But the big fish weren't interested at all. Unfortunately, it was supposed to be an overcast morning as well, and the sun came out really early on. And I know this place is just, it's so difficult when it's like that. So that was that. It wasn't very good, hence not making a video. I did have a few fish, but as I say, they're all just sort of chublets between sort of 4 and 8 ounces, really. And I've not been out since, just because of the conditions. I did just fancy coming out and doing this. I say we had a cracking session, me and Jasmine, when we came down last week. Although we're not having quite as good a session today. Probably because the water's even clearer than it was. I think a move might pay off shortly. We'll give it another 20 minutes in here. So guys, what I've decided to do is have a move right around the other side. Try over here. It's not been particularly productive today, unfortunately. But that's sod's law when you come out to make a video. But we'll keep at it. Not ideal conditions, really, as I've said, but usually good for a few bites, and to be fair, we've had a few bites. And coming around here, if nothing else, we're leaving out the t-shirt tan, so that'll be all right. Hopefully we can have a few more out. You can probably see a bit better from over here. You can see the extent of the weed. I mean, it's top to bottom in a lot of the areas. We can have a little go here. We can have a little go over there as well. There we go. It's a good start. What's this? Rudd. Lovely rudd. Look at that. Wow. Beautiful. Well, that's good. If there's a few of them in here, it'd be nice. Yeah, we weren't fishing far away before. We were actually sat over there. But obviously, with all this weed in here, even if I was using a rod, I couldn't really have cast across. Just due to the amount of weed. Can't really pull any fish in with the smell or anything, because we've limited ourselves to using maggots. Oh, how? How do you have a bite like that and miss it? Flows about 3 inches under the water. Finally. We perch. We'll swing him in just about. Alright, a nice stamp of fish. We're not having a lot of fish, but we're generally having a pretty reasonable stamp of fish. Certainly to catch on this gear. Lovely fish. Definitely going to do some perch fishing this autumn. Got a few places in mind. This being one of them, because there's plenty of perch in here, and I have seen some crackers as well. Chasing fry around and small roach. Seeing good 2-pounders in here last season. Ooh, roach. Nice roach, look at that. Fab. Well, we're putting a nice net full of fish together now. Just shows you though, doesn't it? You know, there's venues about where you can go and fish. Natural venues where you can catch another lovely rudd. You can catch plenty of fish. It's so simple as well. I mean, literally, I'm sat on a stink bag. Got a pint of maggots and my daughter's whip. Certainly seems the sport's picking up a bit with the sun being out less and less. As I said earlier, due to cloud over today, probably been better off coming out later, but unable to do that, unfortunately. I have to come out at pretty much the worst time of the day, but we're catching. That's the main thing. Just baiting a spot up next to me here as well, keeping a few maggots going in. We'll spin round and have a go there in a bit. And so it's not prolific. Sometimes this place is absolutely crazy, but it's not the right conditions for that. We need a bit more colour in the water and a bit more of an overcast sky and perhaps a bit of drizzle. Cool, what's this? It's shooting about. Oh, cracking rod, look at that. Look at that. Wow. I have no experience of whips at all, worth mentioning, but this does seem fairly reasonable bit of kit to me, certainly for free. Really can't moan. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm even going to take my shoes off. Well, we've got a few fish silvers on the go now. I think you class rudd as silvers. Rudd and roach over there. Just in a slightly deeper water. And if that's the reason, maybe. But what a cracking bit of sport, I have to say. I'm loving this. And I bet we've only been at it about, well, probably not even an hour yet. Should mention I'm fishing semi on the drop. It's got a couple of number 8s down the line. Maggot's taking probably 20 seconds to get down to the bottom, but most of the bites are coming near the bottom, not unexpectedly in this clarity of water. Once again gone quiet. Perhaps we'll spin round and have a little go over that side. I think today we're just picking off a few fish in each spot and then spooking them and to move a little bit and let it settle. Should perhaps have bought a bit of mashed bread with me or a bit of ground bait. Probably would have improved things a little bit, but I wanted to make it really as simple as I possibly could. Bit of a challenge. It's not exactly a challenge, but just to see what I could catch fishing about as simply as you possibly can, you know, with a whip and a pint of maggots. I think we'd have perhaps pulled a few more fish in with a bit of ground bait and a bit of smell in the water, rather than me sort of chasing them around the swim, which is what I seem to be doing at the moment. There we go. Something out there. Cool, what's this? The roach by the looks of it. Look at that. Oh, dropped on him. Cracking fish. Beautiful. Well, that being the case, let's sprinkle a few maggots over there. Oh my goodness me. What are you doing? How have I missed that? Well, we found a few fish again. As I said, we'll keep the bait going in there. I'll switch round again in a minute. God blimey. What on earth is this? Got to be a perch. I think we'll need the net for this one. Oh, net's all around the wrong side. I think we're going to have to net him left-handed. Go, cracking fish. Look at that. Wonderful. Left-handed as well. Well, there he is. Nowhere near as big as he felt. Trying to get him in on that whip. Cracking. Oh, something else is pulling back. This is not perch, I don't think. It's not. God, it's a roach, isn't it? Again, do it left-handed. Wonderful. That's about that. This is fantastic. Can just about fishing with this 4-metre whip and 4 metres of line on, or thereabouts. Can just about get it over there. I certainly don't mind not getting lots and lots and lots of bites if we're catching fish of that stamp. Well, they're not monsters, are they? But, you know, I'm fishing with a whip at the end of the day. The other time I fished here this season, I had a tension here. It was only, I don't know, a pound and a half or something like that. But I certainly wouldn't want to try and handle one of those on this whip. 2 pound bottom. Especially in all this weed. Just flick it in, you think it's in a clear area and it just doesn't settle. Float just slowly draws under. Sometimes it's not settling. Clearly the shotter hung up on some weed. Got a bit quiet over this side. I think time for a spin around again. Limit on that side, though, is what we can do, because it's alright. What was I saying? We're swinging just about. God, there's a nice roach over there, isn't there? Perhaps we shouldn't spin around. They're no monsters, but a cracking fish. Certainly rather catch than not. Well, I'm thoroughly enjoying this. Got half an hour left of the self-imposed time limit. Right, I've got to the trouble of plumbing up now. This took me all of 1 minute. Well, we've gone a bit deeper, so we're fishing down near the bottom. We were about a foot off bottom. I realised. I thought we were a bit closer than that. We'll get that down. Right near the bottom now. There we go. Red bite straight away, look. Oh, it's come off. That felt like a decent fish as well. I think it was a perch. Something half decent again. Perch, I'd imagine. God, that's crap. There's a perch. Definitely need a net for this one. He's the biggest perch of the day, I think. We can get him in. Come on, get in. Keep him off the concrete. How's about that? Cracking. Oh, we're catching loads and loads of perch. That's why I think this will be a good place to come in a month or so's time and have a go for a bigger. There we go, it's paid off. Moving around here, we got a little chub by the looks of it. Certainly is, a little chub. Well, I'm going to make this the last cast. The last put in. It's been a couple of 3 minutes since we had that last fish. Doesn't look like there's anything else doing it over there. Time's up now. In fact, I've strung it out by an extra 5 minutes or so. But it's gone very quiet in sort of all the spots around, really. It's gone quiet, so I think we'll call it a day at that. Yeah, that's just about sunk now. We'll call it a day at that. Right, what I'll do, I'll get this rig back onto a winder and then we'll have a look what we caught. Right guys, let's have what we caught in a couple of hours. Nice net of fish there, as you can see. Mostly rudd and perch. We've had some cracking fish. As you can see, let's hold that up so you can see better. You see, I've got these on the stink bag so they don't do themselves any damage, but there you go, we've had a reasonable net of fish for a couple of hours. Very happy with that. That's cracking. We'll just have a look at a couple of the better ones. There we go. Nice perch, and we've had rudd and perch of that stamp. A lovely roach as well. Cracking. Right. Well, that's the biggest roach. Certainly. Wonderful stuff. Right. I won't stress them all out. We'll get them back. Like that. There we go. Fantastic. Go on, out you go, chaps. Wonderful. Make sure there's none left. Well, that was cracking. I've really enjoyed that. Say just over 2 hours down here, and we had a lovely net of fish like that, and that wasn't particularly prolific for this place. I mean, this place can be really, really, really prolific on its day, but in these sort of conditions, you know, the sun's in and out, the water clarity is crazy. I can see 6 foot down here. He never really fishes like that, so to have a couple of hours at lunchtime catching fish like that on what is effectively a kid's whip, wonderful. Really, really enjoyed that. Now I am going to try and get out over the next few days on the Avon, perhaps do a bit of a dawn raid somewhere. We're due a couple of overcast mornings, so I hope that will sort of counteract the clarity in the water. That's my thinking anyway. We might not do any good, we might do okay, and then early next week I'm down the Y to have a day down there with my mate Mick. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, something a little bit different. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support, and I'll see you all again very soon.